All right. Mario Manzano. Hi, your client needs to come forward.
Yes.
Hi. Oh, where is he?
Mario. Why he's not.
You need to come forward. No, it's gonna be one of those days today.
Yeah, I feel it already coming on.
Oh, it is. Yeah, most definitely. But you know what? We're gonna bask in the glow of that day.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So where are we on discovery?
So we have received discovery. I came in last week and got permission to apply for PTD. The client has provided me with it. I'm submitting it right now. And I think it's going to be resolved through PTD. So I'm just asking for a reset to let that get approved and him to report.
All right, Norm, I need a PTD date. All right, May 11th.
May 11th.
Yes,
Perfect.
once you sign the reset form, you excuse, just have a seat. Your attorney will bring that to you.
I'll be with you in just a second.
All right, thank you. And court is at 9 in the courtroom.
I will speak with him about that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Raul, sis, hey.
I'm here because,
Oh, you're on this side. We'll figure out what's going on.
okay,
Hello. How are you doing today?
Doing fine.
I got these two things. I don't know if that helps you, Judge, from the probation office.
All right, so on this one, does he owe any restitution?
Judge,
Because
the
it says,
restitution is to be determined on both of those. I will get with the office to see if letters have been sent out and so forth. The issues that we're having with Mr. Lacy is, on one of his cases, he was placed on probation for deferred adjudication for 2 years. That 2 years is going to be up in July of this year. There are still some outstanding things that he needs to complete, defensive driving, GED, and then he just hasn't been in overall compliance with his UAs.
all right,
We have not had a UA since July of last year. And
you're doing a UA today. What's the result going to be?
Isn't it clean?
All right, why are you not doing your UAs?
I don't have any permission.
Do you want to go to prison?
No, ma'am.
The range of punishment on these cases, on the case ended in 8-9, the range of punishment is up to 10 years in the prison. Do you want to go to prison? The other range of punishment on the case ended in 0-0 is up to 2 years in the state jail facility. If you get sentenced to 2 years in the state jail facility, that's day for day. Do you understand? Do you want to go to prison? Then you had better find time. And this whole thing about you're just not doing it, why are you not doing it?
I don't have any permission.
All right, so let me just tell you, this is the last conversation we're going to have about this. The next conversation we have, if we have one in regards to you're not reporting for your UAs, you're not making payments towards your financial obligations, what's going to end up happening, I'm going to see this, there's not going to be a compliance hearing. They're going to ask me what should be done. You see where that other is checked? I'm going to put file MTR. And then what will end up happening if a motion to revoke is filed, you'll end up being taken into custody. Police will arrest you wherever you may be. If you're about to have dinner, they'll arrest you right there. If you're in line to pick up your children, they'll arrest you in line if they find you there. And then you will be taken to the Bexar County Jail. You either make bond or not make bond. You'll either hire an attorney or one will be appointed for you, and we will hear the motion to revoke. And then if the allegations in the motion to revoke are found true, you're looking at potentially 10 years in one case and 2 in the other. Do you understand?
Yes.
You are not to miss another UA testing. Do you understand? And you're going to provide a UA today.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Anything
idea.
else?
Judge, the CSO is asking for his conditions to be amended to include the IVR hotline for 60 days, complete the aggressive driving course, and enroll in his GED courses within 30 days.
All right. Are you currently employed?
No, ma'am. Self-employed.
Huh?
I'm self-employed.
Doing what?
Mechanical.
So I don't even understand why you can't make these appointments. Because if you're self-employed, you make your own hours.
On the driving one, I'm doing that.
I'm
I'm
sorry. what?
already Enrolled in the driving course.
The defensive driving?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then you need to provide them proof of that because they don't have proof of that. And if you don't provide them proof, you might as well not have done it. All right,
And
you understand?
complete it, and complete it.
Yes, sir.
And what is the issue with the GED?
Still looking into one of the schools, see if I could get enrolled.
All right, so here's the thing. With the GED, I'm gonna give him a choice. He can either do the GED or go to a trade school, do something to improve his lot in life. Because I realize that sometimes the GED is more difficult for
Is it?
people.
Okay.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's difficult because I think they want you to do math. You know what I think I should do, Bashan? Before I leave, I should make defense attorneys take the GED test and see if any of them will pass. All right. So, you're gonna alternate main conditions. It's gonna be the IVR hotline, or either you can do the patch. And you're gonna provide them proof of your enrollment in the defensive driving course. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're gonna take a UA today. All right,
The IVR hotline, how often do you want him tested?
once a week.
60 days?
Let's do 30 and see how he does. I don't want to interfere with other things he has to complete.
The important thing is you have to finish this because your probation's running out and this judge will revoke you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Seeloff.
Thank you. I'll talk to the coordinator. That's why I was gonna ask, what do you call it?
I'll just put it down as a motion to revoke hearing. All righty, so what are we here for with Mr. Lorenzo?
Mr. Garcia has an occupational driver's license application that's pending in front of the court today.
All right, can you have them pull that? Because they didn't,
The application, I've got the application and a copy of the order if you need. Just,
have you conferred with the state?
I confer with Mr. Prater yesterday on this case. And the state is silent. They don't have a position one way or another. This is a felony DWI, so there was a waiting period that we had to go through. He was placed on probation, over a year ago, right now? Year this month. And so he's gone through the waiting period. And so we wanted to do an application. Uber fees are killing him.
Mhm, okay,
And so he is anxious to be able to at least go to work and drive to work. He still has ignition interlock. We got contacted by Barbara last week, and she asked us to provide her the proof of the ignition interlock with the latest calibration for this month, which
Okay.
we did.
okay.
And so he's in full compliance, Judge. We just are trying to get him an occupational license so he can.
Okay, so it's required that we have hearings on these. So we're gonna go on the record with this hearing. And it appears from my review of the application, everything appears to be in order. The main thing is having the ignition interlock and having insurance. So if for some reason, if your insurance ends up lapsing, then you know you're not allowed to drive. All right, we're gonna go on the record. The court is calling 2026 CI 05308 N. Ray Lorenzo Garcia for the defense
David McLean for the defense.
and for the state. All right, this is a request for, I should say, an application for an occupational license. The court is required to have a hearing. Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, this morning we have the application for an occupational license. This is for a felony DWI. My client has completed the requisite time before applying for this license. And so the application is timely now. He has provided attached to the application proof of insurance, his certified driving record, which shows that he has not had any other violations or anything since being placed on probation. He currently has ignition interlock in his car. We provided proof of that to the staff attorney last week that has a current calibration and a current fees paid. He is willing to comply with all the requirements this court would impose on him. He just is requesting that he has an application for this occupational license so he can go to work, attend probation, attend court if necessary, go to church and take care of his basic needs.
All right, state.
State of Bexar.
Oh, if you can come forward though, please.
I call.
That's okay. All right, if you could sign here, this, you're silent, but this is just approving the form in which it's in. But. All right, so I'm going to grant your application and sign the order. Make sure that you have a copy of this with you at all times. You understand? And read over it because you're only allowed to drive during the times that's presented in the application and in the order, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about anything? Thank you.
Of course.
Okay.
We're gonna get certified copies of this right now. Okay. Judge, thank you so much.
All right, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you.
Be excused.
Yes, you're.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jose Marino?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, it has, is Kelly no longer his attorney?
Judge, we didn't file notice when he was initially hired. He's got a DWI pending. I filed notice on the DWI for some reason. We didn't realize we hadn't filed notice on this. So I'm getting that corrected right now.
All right, thank you. All right, so have you conferred with the state?
I've conferred, Judge. We have an offer. It's contingent upon taking care of the DWI and misdemeanor report. I don't have all my discovery on that case yet.
All right, so do you have a setting on the misdemeanor
I
case?
do.
When?
April 15th, Judge.
All right, Norma, if you'll set this at the end of April, all right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Make sure you're on time.
But I don't want that set for a disposition judge or?
Yes. Vasco Brabham,
Yes, sir.
all right, do you all have all discovery?
The answer to the state, not everything on it.
What's missing?
We are missing some medical records.
We have conferred on that.
All right, and so where are the medical records?
They will be submitted today.
And again, I'm going to say this again. I don't understand why people are indicting cases and there's medical records that are needed and people don't have medical records. What if the medical records show nothing? And then somebody's been indicted, they've had to make bond. So when are y'all going to have the medical records?
I would say 30 days, just to make sure that we get this and have to that's time to present.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, set this for 45 days for a plea deadline date. You all need to confer off docket.
We will, Judge.
May 14th.
All right, May 14th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of it.
Huh?
I'm a big fan.
Aw. Thank you. Have a great day.
Which is straight. I would think they'll be for
Hello. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a big $125,000 case in here on Christopher Adam Broman. I hope I'm saying that right. V as in Victor.
Yes.
How much time would you give me to work on this case if it's a high dollar?
No, I mean, where is he?
I'm gonna step outside and start making phone calls
Okay.
as soon as possible.
Then after that, then if you want to file an affidavit to surrender surety, but it needs to be done today.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I'm gonna start working right now.
All right, thank you. You have his attorney's information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's Austin Hagy.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you.
Hello.
May I approach?
Yes.
I just got off the phone, Mr. Hagee. He said his client was given permission to appear by Zoom,
Mhm.
and he is on GPS because he lives in Abilene, Texas.
Okay, well, we'll see if he zooms in.
Okay.
All right, thank
thanks.
you. All right, Galaxy Guerrero.
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay.
I don't know if you need this. They're gonna withdraw their motion to revoke, but.
Let's release. I'll be right with you, okay?
I'm sorry, what?
I wasn't told that we were withdrawing.
All right,
Prosecutor said they were gonna withdraw, but then.
oh,
The conditions.
okay, well, where are the family law?
She ran to the bathroom.
All right, we'll wait till they come back.
But good morning, Judge.
Yeah, good morning. So as soon as they come back, we'll take care of this.
I'll be right back.
All right, then we have Galaxy.
Mine up forward.
Bailiff.
All right, on this motion to revoke, what's happening with the allegations within the motion?
We're gonna withdraw and amend and alter the conditions, Judge.
That's correct, Your Honor. We're gonna withdraw the allegations or the violations and then the case is gonna be resolved.
And the new case will be dismissed, right?
Yeah, it'll be resolved.
All right, is that misdemeanor?
Yes. Your Honor.
Yes, and County Court 7 impact.
And what are you all asking for with conditions?
Your Honor, we are asking for the defendant to complete it. We are also asking for the defendant to complete the family victim, family violence live panel. We're asking her to do the UA hotline for 60 days and submit to UA testing bi-weekly.
All right, why is there a request for UA hotline in all of this? Is there an allegation?
The second allegation is for slip up of usage of marijuana in December of last year.
And that's the only thing, marijuana use?
Your Honor, additionally, in the new case, there was an allegation of alcohol intoxication.
Oh, okay.
Probation?
Yes, Judge.
On this case, is there an updated tab?
No, Judge, the last applicant 2024, she completed intensive outpatient treatment as well as her parenting class. There's only been one positive UA.
All right. And then is there going to be any no contact orders?
Your Honor,
It's a father.
maybe a no or injurious contact order. It's the alleged complainant is the defendant's father.
All right. So what's going on in your life? What do you need to be successful on this probation?
Just complete my UAs and just follow the orders that my commission.
Well, I mean, do you have anger issues?
No, it's just like me and my dad, like sometimes we bump heads a lot with me and.
But you know, a lot of people bump heads, but they don't have criminal charges resulting from that.
And
So are your children placed with you or are they placed with him?
they're placed- and I live with them,
All right, and you live with him?
yes.
Is that a part of some type of order that you have to live with him with your children?
Yes. We do
All right.
like
Is that Child Protective Services?
it's business. Then business.
Okay,
And Your Honor, I do show that CPS was involved. I do not know the status of that, but these have CPS records, but just in my experience.
Has that been concluded?
Yeah, they did see it already.
so since February 15th, 2026, y'all telling me that CPS investigated and they're done?
Yes, ma'am.
I do not have that information.
We do, but it's.
Does somebody want to check with CPS? Because you all are saying no harmful or injurious contact. CPS may say there's not to be any contact. I don't know. Does anybody want
When's the
to?
last time you dealt with CPS and
It was when it,
the last case? 2 years ago?
yes. Well, we have to contact my dad because I'm obviously.
All right, so let's do this. If somebody can pick up the phone, call the prosecutors who are in room 306 and ask them to look her up. The only thing they'll need her name or either her eldest child's name, and then they can tell us what their orders are. And then their orders can mirror what I'm going to do here.
Okay.
Because I
You
don't want to
agree with
set,
that?
yeah, because I don't want to set her up for failure. And counsel, I know you need to be somewhere at 11. So we're going to hold her here. They're going to call and whatever they say over there, that's what it's going to say here. If they have no contact there, then I'm going to enter no contact. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Yes. Derek Carpio. All right. On this case, I see he has some cases that are not indicted.
That is correct.
And I think, and you're on those as well?
I am. So there's one case that it's
a felony charge
Mhm.
and we don't have any labs, we don't have any real discovery on it. And so I've talked to the state, I don't believe they have any as well.
Okay.
So it's kind of a case that they would like to resolve both that and this case together. That other case is, I think, a larger or a higher degree felony.
All right. So you're all going to have to confer off docket. Norma, give me a date in June for this, please, and that will be your plea deadline date. June 1st. Are you available?
I am.
All right. We'll see you back on June 1st. Once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
So much.
Thank you. Yes.
Ready now.
I'm gonna find the page.
Your Honor, I was able to get a hold of the investigator in charge of the case for
Mhm.
Galaxy. She said there's no concerns. They are in the process of closing the case.
Yeah.
And so she is not gonna put a no contact order.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Judge.
Thank you. All right. So this is what I am going to do. Ms. Abrams, if we could do a updated TAP evaluation. They want you to do the BIPP course.
Okay.
All right.
Fine.
It is a family violence course.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Um, I'm not doing the live panel, either they want the live panel or the BIP. And that's a lot for her to do, both when she has children. And you said she's completed the parenting classes?
Yes.
All right. So let me ask you this, what's going on with you and your dad that,
It's because we argue about like certain things about me and kids. Like I said, I'm trying to be as a mother to my kids.
Mhm.
So like, you know, it's been going on since, you know, when I was like children now.
Mhm.
But me and him, we did say sorry to each other. So sometimes whenever we do have an argument, we just go our separate ways.
Mhm.
And you know, he's a maintenance at that apartment, so I barely see him. So it's just like I said, I don't know, we just, sometimes we have like different boundaries, you can say.
well, here's the thing. Number one, children, they don't need to see that, and they've already had upheaval in their life because you had a CPS case with them, right? So children learn how to resolve issues by watching what other people do. And believe it or not, every time their voice is raised, every time police are called,
Yes,
that creates instability for your children.
yes, please.
So you all are gonna have to find a better way to communicate. And anytime you get ready to raise your voice or you get angry, you need to think about what your children are seeing. You understand? So, and they told me you completed parenting classes, so you should know this. So do you need a refresher on your parenting?
No, ma'am, no. I just like made it clear with my dad that like we need us to agree in front of the children and we would just go our separate ways, you know, and not argue in front of them. So it's a bad choice, yes. And I don't want my kids to even see that, you know, because they're little. And
Yeah.
I understand that completely.
And here's the other thing that you need to realize. In child protective services cases, what ends up happening when grandparents, the children are placed with them, they become their parents. All right. And so they're still in that mode and you got to respect that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you. You're welcome. All right. Norma, on Angel Farias. I don't know why it's not on the system, but it shows here the attorney representing her is Sandhindrick, Deborah Sandhindrick. And Deborah Sandhindrick came in here yesterday that she was going to have to be in another county, and I think she's up for trial. So recall this and recall it for next week. What date? Monday? Charles Blanc,
Yes.
hi, you wanted to approach on other cases?
A few cases that are both new relatively new to us.
Okay, which one?
First one, let's do Mr. Taylor first, the one you appointed.
Okay, Taylor. All right, Mr. Taylor, if you'll come forward. Hello, Mr. Taylor. All right, how old are you?
I'm not saying.
19, okay. All right, your case is going to be reset. This is Mr. Bunk. Make sure that you stay in contact with him, okay? All right, so how much time do you want?
Maybe 30 days. I
Okay,
just want to revisit and buy some cameras with my client, then we'll be ready to
okay,
move on.
let me see here. I can put you at the end of April if you would like.
Okay,
You just tell me
that's fine.
what date.
Okay.
And Mr. Taylor, no more face tattoos, okay?
How about Wednesday, April 29th? I'll already be.
Not on a Wednesday. I can do,
How about Monday, the 27th?
okay. We'll come back on Monday, the 27th. And we'll see where we are. All right. Just have a seat and they'll bring a resign.
You're free to leave, okay?
All right, and who else do you have?
Wes with 2 S's, Ruiz.
You would find him on him. All right, thank you.
Here's that.
All right, Wes Ruiz.
I'd like to come back on that same date for the same discovery.
So we'll have you back on the 27th. Hi.
Hello, yeah.
Hi, how's it going? I like your backpack.
Thank you.
What cartoon is that from?
It's like the gremlins that don't feed after midnight.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there were just too many rules for the gremlin.
Yeah, they're cute until they want
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna bring you back on the 27th. Do you have any questions about anything?
it. I guess I have
Yeah,
some questions.
we'll sign.
All right, so just have a seat, and once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused.
Okay.
All right, thank
Thank you,
you.
Judge.
You're welcome.
That motion set aside.
All right, Christopher Verum. All right, so where are you all on discovery?
So Judge, if we could do one more discovery setting, I think we can be caught up at that point. I do need to review the forensic interview in this case.
All right.
Otherwise, I think we've received everything.
Correct, Your Honor. And our end, there are several children involved in this case, and defense is house, she's actually brought this to me. So we
All
have
right,
some time.
Ms. Ferguson, I need 30 days.
Yep.
And state at that time an offer will be due. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, April 30th. Your,
Understood, Judge.
your client can appear by Zoom.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, yes.
Rodolfo Palma, I think he's on page 4, but he did not appear.
All right, could I have a prosecutor, please?
Yes, sir.
Court is calling 2026 CR 0-0-1528 State versus Rodolfo Palma Jr. Could I have parties announced?
Rochelle Savella for Mr. Palma.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:50 a.m. The defendant did not answer docket. Defense, have you added in contact with your client?
Judge, not recently.
Deputy, did you make an announcement for the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor, I did. He is now out there.
State?
We're requesting a bond for the jury.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant remaining your client without bond.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Alex Musek?
I am judge.
All right. And where is Alex Musek? All right, and this is a motion to revoke?
Yes.
Are you all ready to proceed on the motion?
No, ma'am.
What's happening?
We don't have an agreement, Your Honor.
No, I mean, is this going to be contested?
Well, it certainly could be. I bonded Alex out about a week ago, or maybe less than 2 weeks ago. Just today, there is a new number 1 alleged. The allegation is not in Bear County. And just today, I received a police report regarding the incident. I suspect there's probably more discovery out there that the state's not yet in possession of. I would ask the court for just another normal reset so I can obtain information in discovery, and I think the state also needs it as well before we march down the path of the possibility of, I just don't have enough.
Again, I don't know why people file motions and they don't have discovery. Norma, set this in 14 days for a contested hearing. All right, and then if they don't have it, they don't have it.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Court is calling 2023 CR 10058 State versus Andrew Shepherd. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense? For the
Do I need
defense,
to say my name or something, or?
your defense attorney appears to be frozen. Did you tell Mr. Guerra to zoom back in? And state, do you have any reason for why?
Unstable internet, so.
All right, for the defense.
Martin Guerra, attorney for Andrew Shepherd.
And are you Andrew Shepherd?
Yes.
Any objection to the defendant appearing by Zoom?
Not at all, Judge.
All right, state, the defense has filed this motion stating that his client has been denied the right to a speedy trial. The offense date on this is November 23rd, 2020. And the defendant was not indicted until October 31st, 2023.
And the state has no idea or was not able to discern why there was such a delay in indicting the defendant.
All righty. Anything you want to put on the record, counsel?
Your Honor, if I could ask my client a few questions just related to the prejudice he has suffered and the harm he suffered.
All right, could you raise your right hand, Mr. Shepherd? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Andrew Shepherd.
All right, you may proceed.
Andrew, I know this case took place a long time ago, but since then, has this case affected your employment opportunities?
Yes.
And can you explain that to the judge?
It had affected my employment opportunities. There was three specific ones that I can remember off the top of my head that were or like in my career field that I've been studying, and they all sent me the offer and then rescinded it, finding out about this pending case that we're here for.
All right, just one moment. All right, thank you. All right.
Andrew, those jobs, they were full-time positions?
Yes, they were.
And how much, what was the salary going to be on those? How much would you earn?
Between the three of them, they were between $20 and $26 an hour.
And it was a direct result of this pending case that denied you the opportunity to get those jobs?
Yes.
Now, okay, actually pass the witness, that's all.
Sir, can you hear me okay?
You raise my hand again?
No, are you able to hear?
Oh, barely.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So while the offense occurred in November of 2020, you're aware that you were not formally indicted until October of 2023. Is that correct?
I was unaware.
Okay. So you were unaware that any charges were pending against you until 2023. Is that correct?
I was unaware that any charges were against me until recently, like a few months ago.
Okay. And then you had a court setting that was set on January 5th of 2026 that you failed to appear to. Is that correct?
I thought that was allowed to be like Zoom call. I think so. Correct.
I'm sorry.
Short.
Just stop for a moment. The court reporter is unable to hear. I'm unable to hear. So did you hear the state's last question?
It was about a court hearing in January, correct?
The question was,
Can you hear me?
did you fail to appear to your court setting on January 5th of 2026?
I did because I thought the case had been dismissed at that point.
Okay, why did you think that?
Can we hear me?
Why did you think the case had been
Because I got a message from my lawyer saying, because I got a message saying that the case had been dismissed by my lawyer, but he had explained to me that there was a shepherd in his file that he attended for court that same day. So I guess he confused my case with his, and that's why that's why I wasn't present.
Okay, and then you were arrested for this offense in December of 2025, is that correct?
Yes, I was extradited.
Okay, and that's when you were made aware of the charges pending against you?
Yes.
Okay, we passed the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Andrew, I understand there was some confusion about your court date, correct?
Yes.
But you never received any notice that you were ever indicted by mail, did you?
No.
And had you received any notification, you would have complied with that notice, yes?
Of course. Of course.
And so even though, again, the prosecutor asked if you were aware that your case had been indicted, but even though you didn't know whether or not it had been indicted, you knew it was still pending.
Yes.
Passway.
Right. Can I ask a few questions?
Sure.
Mr. Shepherd, let me ask you, have you lost any witnesses that could help in your defense since you were arrested?
I have my mother, but she's currently unavailable. She's at work right now.
Okay, how would your mother be a witness to the defense, or do you?
I have been living with her since I had moved back to Tennessee back in December of 2023.
Was she there when you were arrested? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't understand, like, every word.
All right, this is what we're going to do. Any objections to this witness being by phone?
No, Judge.
All right, so you need to, attorney, if you can call your client.
Oh, me? Are we having trouble hearing me?
Yes. So your attorney's going to
Oh,
call
okay.
you, and we're going to have you by phone.
Okay, I apologize.
No problem. All right, if you'll move it towards the court reporter.
May I continue, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, Andrew, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay, so you said that you wouldn't be able to call your mother as a witness? Okay, but I'm talking about at trial, man. Would you be able to call your mother as a witness at trial? Okay, so you do have witnesses that you're still able to procure since your arrest? Okay. What about, is there any evidence or anything that could help in your defense that you've lost since your arrest?
It's not a legal expert.
Judge, I
Well,
have to
he's
stop
going
for
through
correct
the
this.
Barker factors, I believe.
Yes, Judge.
Overrule.
Andrew, do you want me to repeat the question? That's okay. So is there anything any evidence like video or material or something like that that could have helped in your defense that you don't have now because of the time?
So that's been so long.
Okay, so you haven't lost any witnesses or any evidence that could have helped in your defense, even though it's been about 6 years since you were arrested. Is that about right?
I'm sorry, have I lost any evidence due to the time frame?
Okay. And let me ask you, so how many times have you been arrested for this?
Twenty twenty, and then when I was extradited. The only time release I had
Okay, so it wouldn't be a surprise to you if our records show you've only spent 2 days in jail?
state of Texas and Bear County. That sounds accurate because the first time I was released that same day, and then the day that's when I was extradited.
Okay, so Andrew, let me ask you, I've contacted my witnesses. I'm ready for trial. Do you want a trial on this today or do you want a dismissal? Okay, thank you. We'll pass the witness, Judge.
Defense?
Now, Andrew, do you even know which witnesses might potentially be called against you? Do you know if any of those names of witnesses have been turned over?
No, I'm unaware about any of it.
Okay, and you said you spent 2 days in Bear County or 2 days in jail. I mean, is 1 day harmful to you? Is 1 day a good thing?
No, it was all terrible.
Pass witness. Sir.
No further questions, Judge.
All right. Is there a reason why there was such a delay in the indictment?
Judge, so that's what I wanted to address, just so the record is clear. So while the defendant was, he was arrested on municipal warrants on November 23rd of 2020 and then released from the Frio facility. This case was turned in at large, so the record was sealed against him until he was indicted in 2023. And so I think, and the analysis, he was unaware that these charges were pending against him between 2020 and 2023. So I think that's a relevant time period that we're looking at for the Barker factors is 2023 to 2020. Judge. Yeah, so since it was sealed, I mean, he was not made aware of it, so I don't believe that it was holding prejudice. And when I just cross-examined him, he said he wasn't made aware of it until he was arrested, so.
Your Honor. With all due respect, that's wrong. The relevant date for the day of the arrest to the time of his court date. Now, he knew when he got out on his PR bond that the case was pending. It's not the job of him to find out whether or not he gets indicted. What happened basically is we have a delay of 5 years.
And what is the date of arrest?
The date of arrest is November 23rd, 2020. And from that date to the date of his first court
I'm
date,
sorry, you say arrest date is what date?
November 23rd, 2020. From the time of that arrest date till the time of his first signed date in court, that was 5 years, 1 month, and 13 days. The state was in possession.
So wait a minute, because they're saying that this was at large.
Judge, so that I would ask you just to take your course in the court's file because this is contained within the court's record. And so what I'm looking at on Odyssey right now is that the record against him did not become unsealed until October 31st of 2023. So no charges were pending against him up until that date when he was indicted by the grand jury on October 31st of 2020.
All right, and so counsel, the arrest you're speaking of, is that the arrest on municipal warrants?
No, Your Honor, that was the arrest date for this offense. November 23rd, 2020. He gets arrested. He gets released on a PR bond. Then his first court date comes.
All right, so let's do this. So when was he released on a PR bond for this case?
I could just have a minute, but when
Yes.
I'm looking in Odyssey, it does not show that he spent days in jail for this offense, but I made a double check.
Okay.
It's submitted for Odyssey.
And when was the extradition done?
That was on this. He arrived in Bear County Jail on December 3rd, Your Honor, of 2025.
And so per Odyssey, he was booked for this offense on December 3rd of 2025 and per Odyssey had 2 days of confinement. So he was booked on December 3rd of 2025 and released on December 4th of 2025.
All right, so this is what the court wants to know for certain. Because you're saying that he was actually arrested in 2020. The state is saying he was not arrested in 2020. So state, if you can show the defense the documents you have.
So I can show, and this has been tendered to defense, but based on my reading of the offense report, he was taken to Frio for the municipal warrants, but was not, he can't be booked at Frio for that. You have to be taken to the county jail. And so he was released from the Frio facility on those municipal warrants. He was not booked for the offense that was here for.
So there was no double booking.
Not to my knowledge, Judge.
All right, so if you all can just double check that so that the record can be clear and I can be certain.
You know, and Your Honor, the other thing too, though, is that, I mean, even if, let's say for the sake of argument, he was booked on municipal warrants, the state is still in possession of evidence like used against my client for this case. That evidence was submitted for testing and in their possession. And I'm talking.
But one of the factors I have to look at is delay. In order for me to consider delay, I need to know the specific dates. So if you all could.
And Judge, I believe that's a mischaracterization, because when cases are filed out large, it's because the police department is doing due diligence and receiving the lab reports before it's ever sent to the DA's office.
Yes.
So that's the purpose of the record we seal.
Okay. All right. So we'll go off the record to the court reporter so they can look through that. And so if you all will step back and review that, and I'll take up Mr. Leal's case. All right, Aiden Falcone. Are there any applications in any of this?
Yes.
All right, court is calling 2026 CR 0000515 State versus Aiden Falcone. Can I have parties announced?
Rafael Leal for Mr. Falcone.
And are you Mr. Falcone? Counsel, in that case, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Falcone, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? I don't have a copy of the indictment, but did you review the indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yeah.
Right, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 4 to 400 grams. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fines. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea, it gives you more than you bargained for. The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is and he was.
Mr. Falcone, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,000 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. This is to run concurrent with 2026 CR 003-426. It's the court's understanding you've applied for deferred adjudication in community supervision.
Yes, sir.
So what does he prefer? Deferred?
No, I mean deferred, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Judge, I believe that, my apology, that was probably a typo. I
Okay.
believe that it was gonna be a probation offer, but we are going with a offer for adjudication.
Okay. All right, then, did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, sir.
State?
It is, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be 100 hours community service restitution. No contact with Idric, AYDRICK, Compion, COMPEON, the DOEP course, MRT, and prohibited possession of firearms and ammunition.
If I can interrupt, I think it's Compion with an A, PEA.
Oh, okay.
It's my apologies, Judge.
You all need to start printing.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's COMPEAN.
That's correct, Judge.
All right. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
Judge, you have to say exhibit number 1, including all exhibits.
No objection.
All right, state you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, sir.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, there was another case. before
We're
you.
gonna do this one first.
Okay. The claim was, it's only barely 18 and a half years, and he was around 17 when this happened. My client has suffered not only on the charges of this case, but also he was shot by, and he's suffering from an arm condition that he cannot operate his arm. There is a case pending against the alleged shooter in the future, but I guess what I'm trying to say, Judge, is that my client has paid dearly already for his.
When were you shot?
August.
I'm sorry?
August 9th.
August 9th of what year?
2025.
I mean, this happened in July. So what are you doing with your life? You need to speak up.
Switch it around.
All right, just 1 second. Everyone needs to whisper, and I'm sorry, you need to speak up.
Just going the right path. I got a second chance at life. I got shot in the face.
Mhm. So how old are you?
I'm 18.
Are you in school?
Yes.
Where? What do you do?
Pursue education.
I'm sorry, what?
Pursue education. I'm about to get my GED, and I work with my dad, basically full time.
Okay, do you have any children?
No much.
You're not ready. All right, this is what the court is gonna do. 3 years deferred adjudication. Regular UAs. If you're drug tested today, what the results will be? All right, there's to be regular UAs, $1,000 fine probated. This run concurrent with 2026 CR 003-426. There's to be no possession of firearms or ammunition. There's going to be 100 hours community service restitution. You'd obtain your GED. Once you've attained your GED, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's going to be field visits one time per month for 6 months. I'm sorry, one time per month until further notice. There's to be proof of employment within 60 days or SSI within 60 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. TAP evaluation out of custody. Follow TAP recommendations. There's to be no contact with Idric Compion. Probation, is there anything else with regards to that case? All right, did you review the document in that case called Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, who's the prosecutor on the family violence case? Okay, thank you, Meg. Court is calling 2026 CR 001210 State versus Amador Garza. Can I have parties announced?
Ready for the state. Ray Lopez for the defense.
And are you Mr. Garza? Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Garza, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Garza, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
You're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? All right. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the prison, in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garza, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter plea?
No, no.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
If you're not a U.S. citizen by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand? Okay, you need to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at $1,000 fine probated, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, I did.
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be 100 hours of community service restitution, the DOEP course, and MRT. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Judge, you have exhibit number 1, including all of its attachments.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the waiver and state you may be excused?
Thank you.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, that you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. All right, off the record. Deputy, could you have them move to the other end? They're talking behind the court reporter. All right, we're back on the record. Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, you know.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulations of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just to ask the court to follow the deferred adjudication agreement if he wants a chance to keep this off of his record.
All right, are you employed?
Yes,
What do you do?
I'm a truck driver.
Okay.
CDL driver.
And do you travel throughout Texas or to different states?
Just local.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. 2 years deferred adjudication, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs or the patch, $1,000 fine, probated, field visits 1 time per month for 6 months, proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Defendant is allowed to travel throughout Texas for employment. If it changes and they have you going out of state, you'll need to let probation know. TAP evaluation out of custody. Follow results. And I'm going to ask for 30 sober support meetings in 30 days. Probation, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, sir.
All right, because this is plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. All right, good luck to you. Probation will go over conditions. All right, the parties on Shepherd.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we're back on the record in 2023 CR 10058, State versus Andrew Shepherd. Could I have parties re-announce?
Brendan Frater and Megan Galloway for the state.
Martin Garrett, attorney for Andrew Shepherd.
All right, and Mr. Shepherd, you're by phone, is that correct?
Yes,
All right, so there was some slight confusion on the record. And so I want the record to be clear with all of the dates. Have both state and defense had a chance to confer on dates?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so if you all can give me the dates.
Yes, good. So according to the official record, Vikky was indicted on October 31st, 2023, and the record was unsealed on October 31st, 2023. The post-indictment fugitive warrant went out on October 31st of 2023. And regarding days that the defendant was in custody regarding this case, there's only one booking, and that is built in the Bear County Jail on December 3rd of 2025 and released on December 4th of 2020.
All right, and defense, do you agree with those dates?
Your Honor, I agree that that's what Odyssey says. My client was clearly under the impression that he was arrested for these charges back in February or November 23rd, 2020. Moreover, I would say that at least the Bear County Attorney's Office, it seems that they had treated the critical date as November 23rd, 2020, because this is a felony drug charge with a statute of limitations of 3 years. And I think it's important to note that he was indicted 2 years and 11 months from that date that my client said he was arrested on November 23rd, 2021. Again, I know that I've had problems with some of the accuracy of Odyssey, and I'm not the only person in the county that's had problems with some of the accuracy of Odyssey. So I agree that's what Odyssey states. But in terms of was my client arrested or not, my client, his recollection is that he was arrested for his discharge on that day, November 23rd, 2020. Even then, just simply going by the date of his indictment, that's still more than 2 years, and that's well in excess of the 8-month trigger for the presumption of prejudice.
Okay. All right. Any,
I just would respond, I think those are two separate issues, right? State is under a legal obligation to indict after the date of the offense, and there's however not on then until December 2025. And so I just want to re-urge my argument of the record regarding this case was sealed against an defendant wrong regarding the way that it should be from 2023 until present.
all right, the motion to dismiss will be denied. If your client wants a speedy trial, if he's here by tomorrow, we can try tomorrow. Or, so do you want to discuss when your client wished to have this case tried? And I don't know if the state would have objections to your client appearing by Zoom for trial or not, but that would include a lot of waivers that would need to be done in writing. So.
Well, I'll talk to the state, talk to my client. But I request some findings of fact before you line on.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Kimberly Tarwater. Hi, your attorney is currently in trial in another county. And also, your attorney has a vacation letter on file. And many times we don't receive that. And even if it's set, even if they file a motion for speedy trial, we don't necessarily see it unless they filed with it a motion for continuance. So Norma, set this for May 14th. All right, so once you sign the reset form, you excuse. Mhm. Oh, thank you. Maverick Ennis. Who's the attorney for Maverick Ennis?
I'm here, Judge.
And where's Mr. Ennis?
We reached out to him, Your Honor, and his wife said he was in the hospital. We haven't been provided any documentation or anything.
Just one moment. Deputy Laura, if you can make an announcement. Court is calling 2025 CR 002-989 State versus Maverick Ennis. Can I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway for the state.
And George Manning for the defense, Your Honor.
All right, this hearing is scheduled at 9 a.m. The defendant has not answered the docket. Counsel, have you had any contact with your client?
I haven't, Your Honor. We reached out and his spouse said he was in the hospital. We said we needed documentation and we haven't received it yet.
All right, Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement? State.
We're requesting a bond for
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant, remand your client without bond. If he presents documentation in the day, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes.
Have a good day.
Who's ready?
Judge, I'd like to approach Miss Louise, the one I did earlier, Ruby Louise.
I'm sorry, who is it?
Ruby Louise, page 6.
Yes.
She no showed this morning and I'm just gonna head up to Comal County.
All right, court is calling 2026 CR 002-096 State versus Ruby Louise. Could I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Glenn Payne for the defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:52 a.m. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Not personally, Your Honor. A boyfriend called, said she was on the bus this morning and we've had no other contact.
All right, state.
Requesting a bond forfeiture.
Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor, she's not out there.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant, remand your client without bond.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you.
May I be excused?
Anyone else ready?
Yes, ma'am. They're the same.
Who is here on Amadean Smith? All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 3014W and 2023 CR 8440 State versus Amadean Smith. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Attorney Phil Simmons for defense.
And are you Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
And each cause numbers, did you review the motion to revoke community supervision and first amended motion to revoke community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Amadean Smith who was placed on community supervision in 2024 CR 3014W for the offense of harassment of a public servant on March 4th, 2024 for a term of 8 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you the same Ahmed Bayam Smith who was placed on community supervision in 2023 CR 8440 for the offense of harassment of a public servant on March 4th, 2024 for a term of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State, are you proceeding on the same allegations in each motion?
Yes, Your Honor, and that's violation of condition number 40. On or about the first day of August 2025 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Amadean Jordan Smith, did then and there fail to comply with the rules, regulations, or instructions of the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department's fully diagnosed residential facility, and that the defendant was successfully discharged from the program in violation of condition number 40.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
All right, off the record for a moment. I don't have that as a allegation in cause number ending in 40. I have it in 14W. Do y'all have it in 40? Ah, okay. All right, thank you. We're back on the record. All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 40, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison?
So,
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 40? In each cause number, the court will find violation of condition number 40 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. It is to grant the state's motion, revoke the defendant's community supervision, and reform the judgment to reflect a 5-year sentence in prison. In each cause number. Toronto.
Okay. Is that the agreement?
yes, Your Honor. So with him receiving all time for all the time that he has earned.
Are you asking me to follow this agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. So why were you not successful with the program?
People were mean to me.
I'm sorry, what?
People were mean to me. Some of the people at the program.
What did he say?
People were mean to me.
People were mean to you? How so?
Just mistreating me.
How so?
Calling me names and trying to start fights with me.
And who are these people?
Just some of the people, inmates that were in the program.
Okay. So what's your diagnosis?
Schizophrenia, depression.
All right, Ms. Abrams.
The way that it happened was he basically left BPR. He escaped the program. He was there for 3 days and was unsuccessfully discharged. This is his 3rd MTR.
Is he on any type of medications? Does anybody know, is he currently, is he current on his medications?
In my conversation with him, our visit that we had for the gym, my understanding is that is in flux, but he has met with the mental health at.
All right, what does that mean that's in flux? Is he on his medications?
So that's my understanding, but they could have been, I always ask whether or not they, even though I'm not a doctor, Your Honor, are the meds working for you? So when I say something like, are they in flux, and he gives me a different answer, that's what I meant to start. You recall that conversation?
All right, once you're released from prison, if I follow this agreement, do you have a place to go?
That's fine.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to revoke you in each cause number. The court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. The court will request the therapeutic community. And I'll ask for the mental health unit at the prison. All right, did you review the documents entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Oh, and I'm sorry, these cause numbers will run concurrently. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
That's fine.
All right, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
That's fine.
All right, good luck to you.
We have excused, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. Vashon, this is an application for deferred. Court is calling 2026 CR 000422 State versus Lucio Soto. Can I have parties announced?
Lauren Espinosa for the suit.
Robert Ramirez from Mr. Soto, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Soto?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Soto, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am, that's the waiver of
That's what you're charged with.
yeah, yeah.
All right, counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Mr. Soto, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 4 to 400 grams. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea, court does not have to follow your plea. If the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state will call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Soto, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if I grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $1,200 fine and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State? Yes. Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, any such motions?
No.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, the DOEP course in MRT. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we ask that you follow the plea agreement.
All right, how old are you?
24, about to be 25 on April 4th.
All right, and who is Janessa Garcia to you?
My ex-girlfriend.
And who is Adaline Salinas?
My mother.
Okay. And she was in the car with you?
She was the one who picked up my vehicle after I was arrested.
Okay. So do you have any children?
Yes, I have one son.
Age?
He's going to be 2 on April 20th.
All right, does he live with you?
No, me and the child's mother have very many differences and been trying to go about it with the family lawyer to regain, that ability to see my kid, because I've asked police officers to help me with it before, but they always tell me that I need a court case and things of that such to be able for them to do anything. So I've just been kind of down on my luck money-wise, so I haven't been able to pay a proper family lawyer. So I've been trying to just get myself back on my feet for the last year.
And if you drug tested today, what are the results gonna be?
Marijuana.
And when's the last time you used?
2 weeks ago.
All right, so if you're trying to get your child back or have visitation with your child, a good place to start is to stop using.
Yes, ma'am. That's the biggest reason why I did accept the probation, is because it helps me stay on track to make the right decisions, because not only do I care about my freedom, but I also do want to change the direction of my life where it was going.
But here's the thing, probation is not gonna be forever. And you need to do this whether you have probation or not if you want to be in your child's life.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I work for Revamp Security. I'm a sales rep. So just a door-to-door salesman. It's a good job. It pays me well. It's commission.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is gonna do. The court is gonna sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, tests for levels. There's to be a TAP evaluation out of custody, follow recommendations. There's $1,200 fine that will be probated. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. 120 hours of community service restitution. I'm gonna order parenting classes. Once the parenting classes are complete, 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. The remaining 20 hours will be deemed satisfied upon completion of the DOEP course. Probation, is there anything else?
No, sir.
Is there anything else for me from the court in order to be successful?
No, I will say that the amount of resources that you're giving me will help me to go down the right direction.
All right, well, make sure you stay in contact with probation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, I did understand it and sign it.
All right, because it's plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do understand.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Martin Guerra, what's happening with your case?
Judge, I conferred with the state. We have an offer. Had a suggestion or proposal, really. We can get a trial date quickly, but if my client so chooses and the state doesn't object, he can enter a plea on Zoom.
Well, first of all, your client has a warrant,
I know, Your Honor.
so that needs to be taken care of, and I'm not gonna do any pleas by Zoom with a warrant. And Norma? Oh, sorry, let me do this. All right, Mr. Shepherd,
He is not on the line right now, Your Honor. I don't know if
can
he's
you
on.
call him?
Yeah.
Here. I'm here. All right. So, we can set this for trial Thursday or next week. When do you want it set?
Next week, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, set this for jury trial next week.
Yeah, April 7th.
All right, your jury trial is gonna be April 7th. You need to appear in court on April 7th.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, and probation, there are no applications. Court is calling 2026 CR 001131 State versus Jose Cedillo. Could I have parties announced?
I can go with her state.
Robert Mauer for defendant.
And are you Mr. Cedillo?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cedillo, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of controlled substance, PG 1+1.
That's our understanding, Judge.
Any objection?
No.
Mr. Cedillo, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it, sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sure.
State is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Cedillo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Sorry, just 1 second. If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 9 months in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. There's an $800 fine. There are no applications. The state is taking in consideration County Court cause number 719086, and they're proceeding on the lesser included offense. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
It is.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? By signing that you're waiving your right to appeal, the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to a lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Is it guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
State, any evidence?
Did offer state one an attachment?
No objections, Judge.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witness statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I just asked the court to follow the plea bargain, Judge. He has 137 days jail credit currently.
The court will sentence you to 9 months in the Bear County Jail on 1244, give you credit for any time served. There's an $800 fine, time and money will run concurrent. Court will take in consideration County Court Cause number 719086. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Judge.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because it's a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. If you're riding a bicycle, you're not allowed to ride bicycles on sidewalks. You're not allowed to walk in the street if a sidewalk is provided. Do you understand? And so whenever you're riding a bicycle, if you're stopping, if you're turning left, if you're turning right, you need to know the rules of the road. Otherwise, it's a traffic offense. You can be pulled over. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. That's-
Thank you.
I'm the 187th bicycle crime specialist.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have the next one too, Judge. It's Ronnie Cerna. We just need a plea bargain deadline. I got.
All right. All right, Cerna.
Right.
All right, counsel, on this case, do you have all discovery?
We do, Judge.
And was it opportune?
Yes.
How old are you?
30.
Okay. Norma, set this for a plea deadline date in 45 days.
That works for me.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Just have a seat. I'll get you to sign the reset.
Any other plea ready?
Just have men charged in because I'm calling
All right, who's here on Troy, the person for Troy Moore?
it's Meredith and she's not here yet.
All right, the person for Carlos Arredondo, Charis, come forward. What's happening with your case?
He's from the Dominican Republic. He's a resident alien. I've conferred with the state, but I need to do a padilla and
All right, has that already been submitted previously or no?
no, I got appointed on the 18th
All right.
and he was he was just
Competency.
restored to competency.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
the
know
back
that
is no longer accepting that, so you
Correct.
have an attorney to call.
I gotta figure it out.
Norma, can you see if Teresa Coles-Dowell is available, if you're okay with her? All right, Norma, contact her and see if she can provide a Padilla letter.
Yes, I'm contacting right now, Judge. or-
Yes. And let's recall this in 60 days. Give me a 60-day reset.
Give me 1 second, Judge.
Good. And if you have this before then.
I'll bring him in early. May I be released, Judge?
Once you get in touch with
Oh.
Ms. Coles-Dowell. All right, who's here on Joe Morales?
Your Honor, Jeffrey Martinez.
All right, what's happening with this case?
Your Honor, we do have a resolution to this case, however, the case does need to be re-indicted, so I would ask that it be brought back on Thursday, so I can remove that.
All right, we'll bring you back on Thursday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
So that's Thursday. 2 days from now.
Have a seat, sir. Take in the bed.
Judge, she said she'll do it.
All right, thank you. And if you can give her his contact information. And then Norma, on Jeffrey Martinez's client Morales is coming back on the 2nd for disposition. All right, come forward, Mr. Navarro. Your attorney's in Del Rio in federal court, Trump state.
Yeah.
So, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. He's asking that you come back on Thursday, but What's your work schedule?
I work from 7 to 5:30, Monday to Friday. And today's the day I took off for this.
Okay, when's the next day you can take off?
It'd have to be sometime in May, man.
All right, Norma. Recall this for May 4th. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And is that gonna be for discovery judge or what is that?
We can say discovery. Melissa Barton.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's happening with that case?
State and I need to discuss something as far as procedurally, what we want to do, Judge, as far as an agreed recommendation on it.
So are you all ready to proceed or not?
We are, I'm just not in discussing with him the legal technical way that to do what we want to recommend to the court judge, that we had to want to discuss with you first, but we're ready to proceed.
What to do?
Agreed recommendation to alternate amend to have her apply for felony drug court. If she's accepted, then have her supervised that way. If not, then SATIF.
Okay.
But I'm not sure what you need to do. I'm not sure the correct, because that's a little bit different than what I normally do.
Motion to
You've
revoke,
done a
then
motion.
y'all need to enter your pleas and then
Okay.
if I think it's appropriate, I will alternate amend
Do I
condition.
need you to turn in that too, Judge? I
Yeah.
just did it as an,
Could I see the paperwork on Melissa Barton? It's a motion to revoke. And did y'all confer with Ms. Abrams?
yes.
All right. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 003836 State versus Melissa Barton. Can I have parties announced?
Ready for the state?
Joseph Appelt for the defense.
And are you Ms. Barton?
I am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same the Melissa Barton who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2025 CR 003836 for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on June 18, 2025 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
I am.
All right, state.
Judge will be proceeding on a violation of condition number 2, specifically the on or about the 22nd day of July, 2025, in Berry County, Texas. The defendant, Melissa May Barton, did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely amphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the remaining allegations.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find you, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Judge.
There is, Your Honor. In working together with the probation and state, we are in agreement. We'd like to present an agreed recommendation to the court to alter and amend her conditions of deferred adjudication, continue her to include application to felony drug court. And in the alternative, if for some reason she is not accepted to felony drug court, then order SATIF.
All right. Are you asking the court to follow that?
Yes.
Are you waiving your right to appeal? All right. Ms. Abrams, is there a need for a new TAP evaluation or no?
Yes.
Yesterday.
All right, court then would deny the motion and alternate amend conditions, you to remain in custody for an evaluation to felony drug court. If not accepted in the felony drug court, then you'll be going to SATIF. Is there anything else you need?
Not this time, Judge, no.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. All right, and this is the application for deferred.
Yes, Judge.
Is Michonne? Oh, thank you.
Hiding.
All right, court is calling 2026 CR 000745 State versus Dwight Sorrell. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Charles Bunk and Lindsay Shaw for Dwight Sorrell.
And are you Mr. Sorrell? Counsel, you received all discovery. Did you review it with your client?
We have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sorrell, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the, I'm sorry. Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney as well?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? All right.
No
Deputy
objection.
Laura, can you move them to the other end? All right, any objection?
No.
Mrs. Sorrell, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it, sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court grants your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I did.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Absolutely.
Mr. Sorrell, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, no,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no, no.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on the lesser included offense, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. They're asking for an $800 fine. The state is recommending deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
By signing that you're waiving your right to appeal, the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, any such motion?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution in the DOEP course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No, I'm
State in any evidence.
State offer states 1 in attachment.
No objection.
All right. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you did you review the waiver and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We believe he's worthy of the plea bargain. This is his first felony offense that he's going to be on probation for, and we're asking that you would consider probating his fine to assist him financially.
All right. Are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Amazon warehouse.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am. 6.
And what are their ages?
Um,
Is that a trick question?
no, 12,
Okay.
8, like 2. I'll just put. Hold on, you got me. I got 6 of them. 12, 8, 5, 4, 2, and 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Do they live with you?
No, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. Probation, this is possession less than 1 gram. There's gonna be regular random UAs, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, $800 fine. That will be probated. Proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider with minors, 150 hours community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. TAP evaluation out of custody, follow recommendations. If you're tested today, what are the results?
I'll fill it.
Huh?
I'll fill it today.
Oh, what did you say?
I'll fill it today.
He would not pass today.
All right, when's the last use?
Like 2 days ago.
All right, Ms. Abrams, have them test for levels. And the use, well, I'm making an assumption it's marijuana. Is it marijuana? Okay. There's gonna be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Probation, is there anything else? No, thanks. Is there anything else you need in order to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. All right, good luck to you. Probation will go over conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have control.
Yes.
The state's gonna dismiss and refile as a misdemeanor. Can we come back next Tuesday?
Okay.
And we're not, we're just gonna read thousands.
That's fine.
All right, so you're gonna refile as a misdemeanor, then take care of this matter.
Yes.
All right, could you have your client come up, please?
Yes. Mr. Dawson.
All right, hello. All right, so when will you all have the misdemeanor ready?
We discussed next Tuesday, you wonder if we could come back on that date.
And go to a misdemeanor court and plea.
All right, Norma. They're coming back on Tuesday. Can you recall this for Thursday? And then if everything is taken care of, nobody will need to be here.
Okay.
Thursday of next week, Norma.
April 9th.
Even though we may not need to come. Yes.
Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Thompson. We're going to reset your case. Your attorney is currently in a jury trial.
Yeah, and I was just informed he would be in a surgery after that, they said.
Well, we're gonna see what's going on, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this in 2 weeks. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your work schedule?
I work nights.
Okay, Ms. Ferguson, give me a date in 2 weeks, please. All right, we're gonna break, yes? We're gonna recall this on April 14th. And are you in Bexar County?
No, ma'am, I'm in Travis.
All right, we'll have you, is this a motion to revoke or no?
That's the jury trial. 1 to 4.
All right, what day of the week is the 14th?
It's a Thursday, that's our.
Ma'am.
Just 1 second.
It's a Tuesday.
All right, Norma, put this on April 13th. All right, we're gonna place this on April 13th. You can appear by Zoom, but you may have to come back for jury trial on the 14th. We'll see.
Oh, okay. I haven't even talked to my lawyer once.
We're recalling you back on April 13th.
Yes, ma'am.
Currently in trial, and we'll see where we are on April 13th, okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, you're welcome. And you can appear by Zoom on April 13th.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
And then see.
All right, what is happening with Kriston Clark? Okay. And then we have Moses Hernandez with Docket. Norma?
He was a no-show judge.
All right, could I have a prosecutor, please?
Oh, no, he's not here.
Okay. Court is calling 2026 CR 001109 State versus Moses Jesus Hernandez. Can I have for the state?
Brandon Credit for the state.
All right, hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 2:48 p.m. The defendant did not answer docket. State, what is your request?
Judge will be requesting a bond forfeiture.
And deputy, did you make an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor, nobody's out there.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant, remand without bond. And then Sergio Rodriguez. Where is Efron Torres?
Judge, I thought we should,
Judge's
Just
warrant.
warrant.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. I think he has more than one case then. I didn't call Sergio Rodriguez. No, that's been recalled. I have it recalled for May 4th. Is that incorrect?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Moore is the one whose attorney is in,
Troy Moore?
yes, Troy Moore. What page is he on?
He's on the first page.
Okay. No, not him. The person who was by Zoom, what's that, Mr. Moore?
No, that's Mr. Thompson.
All right, so what page is Thompson on?
He's on the last page.
That's like.
And what date do we give Thompson?
4/13.
Okay. Why do I have Rodriguez? Let me see. For Rodriguez, I have him as May 4th. Am I wrong in that?
Lana and I have judge's warrants.
Excuse me, to the court reporter. Can you look and see if a hearing was held on Sergio Ricardo Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
It would have been in the morning. Norma, who did you say was in federal court?
Okay, not in federal, it was, one thing I have it written down. It was Robert Gardis. Robert, yes, he's on page 4 at the bottom. That was on the Bible.
Okay.
I don't think Sergio was like this.
Yeah, no, I don't remember doing that.
I don't have it in my notes either.
Thank you. Yeah, my mind is a steel trap. I don't remember calling
I
that.
just know just that you said everybody that's here after 9:30 going into custody.
Oh, yes, they are, but we still have to call it. All right, the court is calling 2026 CR 001496 State versus Sergio Rodriguez for the state.
I can go in for the state.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 2:52 p.m. The defendant did not answer docket. State, what is your request?
You are requesting a bond.
Deputy, did you make an announcement?
There's someone in the hall, Your Honor.
All right, the court will issue a bond forfeiture, remand the defendant without bond. All right, so what is happening with Mr. Cantu?
We're confirmed.
Oh,
I've got him back here in the room with us,
Okay.
we're all talking.
okay,
So if we can,
yeah,
but we're planning on coming back in the morning for whatever's gonna happen, we'll be here in the morning for it to come.
all right, so are you asking to be recalled?
I thought I technically already had been kind of, but
Is that what you're asking for?
yes.
All right, and State, do you have any objections to being recalled for tomorrow?
Would like to know what the reason.
Yes, that's been the reason I'm gonna use. I'm missing a witness.
All right,
Based on that, we would like ever.
okay.
It's quiet.
All right, so Norma, Count two is gonna come back at 9:30.
Tomorrow?
Yes. Defense has a witness or some witnesses they say they want to call.
Yes.